Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most action-packed and emotionally resonant chapters in the Bible, Mark chapter 5. This isn't just a collection of ancient tales. It's a powerful narrative filled with desperation, faith, and incredible transformation. It's a chapter that shows us that no one is too far gone, too broken, or too insignificant for a life-changing encounter. Mark 5 presents us with three distinct stories woven together in a way that's almost like a modern movie. We have a man possessed by a legion of demons, a woman suffering from a chronic illness for 12 long years, and a respected religious leader whose daughter is at the point of death. Three people from completely different walks of life, each facing a seemingly hopeless situation. Let's start with the first encounter, which is intense to say the least. Jesus and his disciples cross the Sea of Galilee and arrive in the region of the Gerasenes. The moment they step out of the boat, they are met by a man coming from the tombs. The description of this man is terrifying. He's living among the dead, uncontrollably wild, breaking chains and shackles. People had tried to restrain him, but his inner turmoil gave him a strength that was beyond human control. He spends his days and nights crying out and hurting himself. Can you imagine the fear and isolation this man felt? He was an outcast, feared by his community, and tormented from within. He was utterly alone in his suffering. But then Jesus arrives, and what happens next is extraordinary. The man, despite the legion of demons within him, runs and falls on his knees before Jesus. There's a part of him buried deep beneath the chaos that recognizes hope. Jesus doesn't flinch. He doesn't see a monster. He sees a man in desperate need of freedom. He confronts the darkness head-on, asking for its name. "My name is Legion," comes the reply, "for we are many." This reveals the sheer scale of the man's oppression. A Roman legion consisted of thousands of soldiers, painting a vivid picture of the overwhelming battle raging inside him. Jesus then performs a powerful exorcism, casting the demons into a herd of pigs, which then rush down a steep bank into the lake and drown. The townspeople, hearing the news, rush out to see what happened. And what do they find? They find the man who was once a source of terror sitting there, fully clothed and in his right mind. Now you might expect a celebration, but the people are afraid. This display of power is too much for them. They ask Jesus to leave their region. It's a sobering reminder that sometimes people are more comfortable with a familiar problem than with a radical solution they don't understand. But look at the transformed man. His life has been completely turned around. He begs to go with Jesus, but Jesus gives him a different mission. Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you. So this man, once the town outcast, becomes the first missionary to his own community, a living testament to an incredible miracle. His story tells us that no matter how deep in darkness we feel, there is hope for a new beginning. As Jesus leaves the Gerasenes, he's immediately thronged by a large crowd. This is where our next two stories begin to intertwine. A man named Jairus, a synagogue leader, pushes through the crowd. This was a man of status and respect in his community, but right now his status means nothing. He falls at Jesus' feet, pleading desperately. "My little daughter is dying," he says. "Please come and put your hands on her so that she will be healed and live." His desperation is palpable. Every parent can feel the weight of his words. He has exhausted all other options, and now he is placing all his hope in this man from Nazareth. Jesus agrees to go with him, and the crowd presses in on all sides as they make their way to Jairus' house. The tension is high. Time is running out. And then, in the middle of this urgent mission, everything pauses. In that very crowd is a woman who has been subject to bleeding for 12 years. For 12 years, she has been in a state of constant suffering. The scripture tells us she had seen many doctors, spent all the money she had, and instead of getting better, she only got worse. In that culture, her condition made her ceremonially unclean. This meant she couldn't worship at the temple, she couldn't be touched, and she was likely isolated from her family and community. 12 years of physical pain, financial ruin, and social isolation. Can you imagine the quiet desperation she carried every single day? She had heard about Jesus, and a spark of faith was ignited. She thinks to herself, "If I can just touch his clothes, I will be healed." This wasn't a half-hearted hope. It was a determined, last-ditch act of faith. She believed that just a fraction of the power flowing from Jesus would be enough to change her entire life. So she secretly pushes through the crowd, reaches out, and touches the edge of his cloak. Instantly, she feels it. The bleeding stops. The power flows from Jesus into her, and she is healed. She feels the change in her body immediately. After 12 long years, her suffering is over. She probably intended to slip away unnoticed, her miracle a private victory, but Jesus stops. He turns to the crowd and asks, "Who touched my clothes?" The disciples are confused. "You see the people crowding against you," they say, "and yet you can ask, 'Who touched me?'" It seems like a strange question, but Jesus knew this wasn't an accidental bump in the crowd. He felt power go out from him. This was a touch of faith. He looks around, searching for the person. The woman, knowing what had happened to her, comes forward. She is trembling with fear, but she falls at his feet and tells him the whole truth. She confesses her secret act. And what is Jesus' response? Is he angry that she stole a healing? No. He looks at her with compassion and says, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." He calls her daughter. He doesn't just heal her body. He restores her identity and her dignity. He affirms her, brings her out of the shadows, and publicly declares her clean and whole. Her story teaches us that even when we feel invisible in the crowd, our faith-filled reach toward Jesus never goes unnoticed. He sees us, he cares about our hidden struggles, and he desires not just to heal us, but to restore us completely. Now, let's not forget about Jairus. Can you imagine his anxiety during this delay? His daughter is on her deathbed, and Jesus is stopped for what might seem like an interruption. As if on cue, while Jesus is still speaking to the woman, messengers arrive from Jairus' house. The news is the worst imaginable. "Your daughter is dead," they say. Why bother the teacher anymore? The hope that had sustained Jairus is shattered in an instant. It's over. They are too late. The words, "Why bother anymore?" are words of absolute finality. This is the moment where faith either dies or digs deeper than ever before. But Jesus overhears what they say. He turns to Jairus, cutting through the noise of grief and despair, and speaks 5 powerful words. Don't be afraid, just believe. In the face of death itself, Jesus commands faith. He is telling Jairus, what you just heard is not the final word. The story is not over. Trust me." They arrive at the house, which is already filled with the commotion of professional mourners, wailing and crying loudly. Jesus walks into this scene of chaos and asks, "Why all this commotion and wailing? The child is not dead but asleep." The people laugh at him. To them, the distinction is absurd. They are experts in death, and they know it when they see it. But Jesus is speaking from a different perspective, the perspective of someone who has authority over death itself. He puts everyone out of the house except for the girl's parents and his inner circle of disciples, Peter, James, and John. He goes into the room where the child is lying. He takes her by the hand and says to her, "Talitha cum," which is Aramaic for little girl. "I say to you, get up." And immediately the 12-year-old girl stands up and begins to walk around. The reaction of her parents and the disciples is described as being completely astonished. It's an understatement. They have just witnessed the impossible. They saw a dead girl, heard Jesus speak, and watched her come back to life. Jesus then gives them a very practical instruction. Give her something to eat. This simple command proves she is not a ghost or a vision. She is fully alive, healthy, and hungry. So what can we take away from these three incredible encounters in Mark 5? First, we see that Jesus meets people in their deepest point of need. Whether it's demonic oppression, chronic illness, or the death of a loved one, no situation is too extreme for him. He steps into the chaos, the uncleanness, and the grief of our lives. Second, faith is the key that unlocks these miracles. The possessed man ran to Jesus. The woman risked everything to touch his cloak. Jairus had to hold on to his belief even when he was told it was hopeless. Their faith wasn't perfect, but it was directed at the right person. And third, an encounter with Jesus is always transformative. The man from the tombs becomes a missionary. The isolated woman is restored to her community. The dead girl is brought back to life. Jesus doesn't just fix a problem. He restores lives, identities, and futures. The stories in Mark 5 are not just historical records. They are an invitation. They invite us to bring our own impossible situations to Jesus. Perhaps you feel like the man in the tombs, tormented by things you can't control. Or maybe you're like the woman, suffering in silence for years, feeling invisible. Or perhaps you're like Jairus, facing a situation that seems utterly final, where all hope is lost. This chapter tells us to not be afraid, but to just believe, to reach out and touch the hem of his garment, to trust that he is more powerful than any legion, any disease, and even death itself. These miraculous encounters are a promise that with him, transformation is always possible. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive into Mark chapter 5. I hope these stories have encouraged you today. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these three stories speaks to you the most right now? Until next time, take care.